Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on Cheesehead TV. It's Tuesday afternoon. The initial 53-man roster is set. We do not have an official release from the Packers just yet, but for the most part, we can piece together who's in and who's out. Hope you all had fun following along with the cuts all day long on Cheesehead TV. Full list that we know of publicly is available there if you want to check it out. First off, though, let's give a shout out to our good friends over at Ticket King, shall we? That's right. Ticket King has been based in Wisconsin since 1992 and are staffed with experienced, friendly, and knowledgeable folks that can help you with anything Packers ticket related. They also partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgates and bus transportation to the games. They are open on game day for last-minute tickets, upgrades, and they even have a drive-through window. You can head to the Cheesehead TV app, use the schedule tab, and you'll find links to both home and away games, every Packers game, at Ticket King. Speaking of every Packers game, we'll be live doing watch parties once again for Packers games this year. You know how you want to join in. You want to be a member of the Carry the G Club. That's right. We're kicking off the 2022 season with a brand new way for Packers fans worldwide to hang out with us here at Cheesehead TV. The Carry the G Club. Members get custom loyalty badges showing how long you've been a club member and attached to your name and all of our live streams and YouTube comments. You get special Cheesehead TV emojis featuring Corey and myself, and access to our weekly virtual happy hour to come hang out and talk Packers all year long, mostly on Tuesday nights, including tonight, people. That's right. The next happy hour will be kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. So if you join during this stream, you can join us. You'll have the link in the community tab there on YouTube. Joining the Carry the G Club is as easy as tapping that join button you see on the YouTube page. Hello to everybody in the comments section. Hope you're doing well. Lots of people chopping it up already. Good to see so many regulars. Dennis is here. How you doing, Dennis? Kurt, how are you? Michael, Big B is here. What's up, Big B? Hope you're doing well. Dennis, hello. Brandy's here. Nags, you always make the cut. That's really sweet of you. Look at you. When do we start signing players to the practice squad? Good question, Aaron. Tomorrow afternoon, most likely, once the waiver wire transactions are processed. They will find out, all NFL teams will find out who's been claimed. And then after that, the Packers will and the other teams will move pretty quickly to make the signings to the practice squad. So later tomorrow afternoon, we'll most likely get the complete list of who they're trying to bring back to the practice squad. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. More sacks and QB hits this season, Z Smith or Gary? Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm obviously going to be a homer and say Gary, but I think it'll be neck and neck. I do think Za'Darius has got a lot left in the tank, and I know it's going to be hard to watch him playing in purple, but I think he's still a damn good football player. Uncultured, thanks for the super chat. How many weeks until Nags has to make a "This is your team" vid? And I really want a Banky on the beat segment. It writes itself. Pappies. Yeah, but you see, a Banky on the beat segment will most likely get me in more hot water than it's worth. So I'm going to have to nix that idea. But This Is Your Team is an eternal thing. I don't need to remake another This Is Your Team video because it stands the test of time forever and always. You know, I made that one after the A.J. Dillon selection and that year where everyone was ripping on the Love selection and talking about how they didn't do this or they didn't do that, etc. And it's like, this is your team. Get behind it. I understand there are things that maybe you'd want to do differently. Say, myself, I would have kept Juwan Winfrey. I thought the Packers would keep Juwan Winfrey, but they didn't. They obviously went with youth and ceiling and Toure, which I totally understand. The talent is definitely undeniable. But I thought for sure they would want to lean into experience, especially a guy that's been in their system for 3 years, has actual regular season experience with 12, and 12 is a big component here. Obviously, he did a little bit of stumping for Winfrey, and then he got Kumaroed. But things like that, like I understand that the team's never going to do everything you want it to, and I'm certainly going to get behind the team itself and the decisions they make manifest themselves on the field every Sunday, and I root for the Green Bay Packers. It's not a hard concept, though some people seem to make it want to be one. It's interesting talking about, the selection of the 53. Not a ton of surprises. I know, I did the Winfrey thing did surprise me a bit. I did think Caleb Jones had a shot at the 53. I can't say I'm shocked that he was let go and hopefully brought back onto the practice squad. It really sucks seeing the guys who, through no fault of their own, really, are out the door because of injury. Sean Davis leaps to mind, that knee injury, keeping him off the 53 most likely. Just really, really sucks. You hate that timing. But for the most part, nothing shocking throughout this afternoon. And look, most of these moves, I'd say 99% of them, somewhat expected, right? I don't think there was anything that really kind of was like a haymaker out of nowhere that kind of knocked you back. I think hopefully we never get another Josh Sitton moment on cut down. Used to be cut down Saturday, now cut down Tuesday. But yeah, the selection is understandable across the board. There's nothing there that I can't defend or I can't understand. Certainly, a few guys here or there that maybe I would have gone another way. But as you guys are so lucky that I am not in charge. Nobody wants that. What else we got here, folks? Man, so many people chopping it up today. Joe, thanks to the super chat. Hooray for Toure, I think. I mean, that's the other thing. We don't really have an official word yet, and I think there are still 2 cuts left unreported yet. I highly doubt Toure is one of them. I'm pretty sure he made the squad. Dustin, thanks to the super chat. When do they sign? When do the sign OJ Howard tweets begin? Dustin, they began several hours ago. You're late. You are very, very late. Eddie, thanks for the super chat. What's the beer of choice for happy hour, Nags? Well, funnily enough, I've already begun with the beer of choice here on Packers Daily. Excuse me as I have a sip. That would be one Dale's Pale Ale. Somebody call these people and tell them to sponsor us, because, man, I certainly am a believer and a big time head of the gospel for their product. My goodness. Stuff is so good. Big Cheese, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. I'm shocked Goodson didn't make it. I thought he played well enough to earn a spot, but what do I know? You know what you saw when he had the ball in his hands. The key is to watch what he does when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. 2 things really jumped out in that Kansas City game, the final preseason game. One, his pass protection was very suspect. He got bullied repeatedly, both in that game and sometimes at practice. The precious little we saw drill work-wise is obviously not his strong suit, and that's not a knock on the kid. Most NFL backs as rookies come in, having to work on pass pro. The other thing is that dropped touchdown, or not touchdown, the dropped kick return. Man, when your pathway to the roster is through special teams and you mess up in the most glaring fashion possible on special teams, it doesn't help your cause. It certainly doesn't help, put that on your resume, so to speak, leading to decision time. So I do think he'll be back on the practice squad. And look, with Kylan Hill coming back, or probably coming back after 4 weeks on the PUP, you got to think there's a good chance. We haven't heard about Patrick Taylor yet, but if both Taylor and Goodson are on the practice squad, and this is something I talked with Andy Herman about on Let's Talk Football, there's a good chance they bring up one or the other to be the third back throughout that month while they're waiting for Hill to return. And that's what's nice about this expanded practice squad and these new-ish rules of being able to call guys up each week. That really expands what you can do at the bottom of the roster and what you can do week to week as far as how you want to form whatever it is, whether it's special teams, whether it is the back end of, say, the running back group or the outside linebacker group or what have you. I think that's, there's no little doubt in my mind that they're going to try and get Goodson back on the practice squad, but you never know. Maybe someone tags him on waivers, although I doubt it. Ayushka. I messed that up. How you doing? Thanks for the super chat. Have you considered giving Carry the G members access to your shameless pod? I have, however, but then there's no real special reason to be a Patreon member. The Patreon members have been there a long time. Patreon members have been there since the pandemic, which is when we started Patreon, and we started doing watch parties as well. I got a soft spot, deep soft spot for our Patreon members. They've been there. They've been supporting since day one. So there will probably be a time down the line at some point where we'll have some kind of ability, subscription service, etc. But, Cheesehead TV, for the most part, the majority of its content is free. And we'd like to keep it that way. But, yeah, at some point we'll have some kind of ability there. I have little doubt. Just got to find that all-sweeping sponsor who can come in and pay my salary. Accidental Hero, thanks for the super chat. You stress the importance of hard work for young potential getting there. What past guys stand out as hard workers? Is Donald Driver on the list? Carry the G. Oh, Donald Driver, 1,000,000,000% is on the list. I remember the woman I was dating at the time when Donald Driver was a rookie. uh, he was kind of battling a roster spot for another with another young wide receiver whose name escapes me. I think the last name was Lee, not not D Lee, not the tight end, but it was I think it was a wide receiver with last name is Lee, and we had a running bet about who was going to make the final roster, who was going to make it, and I got really mad because every time you saw Donald Driver in a preseason game, he just was working his ass off and doing the little things and being physical across the middle and blocking in the run game and things like that. And things never changed in that regard for Donald. So yes, 1,000%. I think another guy, he'd hate me saying this, but Tom Crabtree. Tom Crabtree worked his ass off, even though I'm not going to, like I said, you're going to tell you he was a world beater or the greatest tight end ever, but damn it, if he didn't work his ass off, make the team and really contribute both in the run game and as a surprise option in the passing game at times, most notably the touchdown catch in Philadelphia in the wild card game. But yeah, that guy really worked his ass off. There are a couple others throughout the way, but yeah, there's no doubt that, the hard work thing is a very real thing as far as maybe you're not a first round pick. Maybe you're not blessed with all the God given abilities that some of the other guys have, but you certainly see the guys. I highlighted Coco on Twitter a little bit earlier this afternoon. This guy legit, when he first got into camp, he was there every day after practice working on his snapping with one of the assistant special teams guys. And it was interesting because I think at the time you kind of got the vibe from the special teams guy, like, okay, all right, we've had like 10, 12 snaps. We can go now. And Coco was just like on it and just wanted to keep going and like, oh, I think I can do a little better and blah, 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 blah. And this is while he was like the number 2 guy. And this is before he was the only long snapper in camp. I mean, he did that every single day. And I say all this and watch, they'll cut him tomorrow and they'll claim the long snapper from the Bengals. But I got a soft spot in my heart for those kind of guys, guys who work their ass off and really want to be better and get better every single day. That certainly shines through. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, do you think 12 is just trolling you at this point with all the podcasts he's appeared on lately? No, look, to be trolling, he'd have to be acknowledging, and he's not acknowledging. He could care less. He doesn't care about me. We all know this. I made the joke when he went on the Bussing with the Boys that, he told Tom, the PR guy, yeah, I'll do everything except Cheesehead TV. That's a joke. And of course, some people on Twitter take it seriously and like, oh, he just doesn't care about you. He hates you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, it's not even, doesn't rise to hate. I'm inconsequential. I've told you guys for years, he's never coming on. He's never coming on Cheesehead TV. Never, ever, ever going to happen. But it is kind of funny how he's been on every single fucking podcast in the world except for Cheesehead TV at this point. The one for Packers fans. Funny how that works. Andy, thanks for the super chat. Is Jordan Love's 5th year being picked a lock? No, it is not. Lot going on there. A lot of levels to it. And a big part of it will be what Aaron Rodgers wants to do after this season is over. Stay tuned on that one, but certainly not a lock. Not even close. Too old for this. Thanks for the super chat. What's more exciting for you, regular season football or getting a dog? Oh, please, regular season football. And in regards to the dog, stay tuned. Announcement coming prior to week 1. It's going to be a lot of fun. Crab Cakes, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Is Marcus Eversole a source we/you can all trust? Yeah, Marcus is a stand-up guy. If he's putting something out there, I would go with it. 100%. And I think he's got a good eye for the game. Definitely. Dude said Ayuska. Hey, man, Ayuska. You say tomato, I say tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. I don't give a fuck. I don't. If I cared, I'd learn how to say it right. But I don't care. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. I'm blown away and disgusted that Raji isn't on the 53. The flame still burns, man. The eternal flame for BJ Raji's return. Love it. Love it so much. God, I got to catch up. Folk, thanks for the super chat. Crazy that 12 was teammates with William Henderson. It is really nuts, right? Hey, and shout out to Mason Crosby, about to be the longest tenured non-quarterback in Packers history. Now he's off the PUP and ready to start week 1. Pretty damn impressive. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think a lot of those guys that Rodgers came in with, that first couple teams. William Henderson, eternally underrated. What else we got? Juwan Kumaro. Oh no. Oh no. Nags, we picking up anyone from another roster? Danny, stay tuned, man. We shall see. I think the next 24 hours will be busy. Packers looking at tape, making calls, etc. Is there a glaringly obvious guy? Not really. I know people are hot on the safeties from like Baltimore and Philadelphia, etc. But I'd be surprised if the Packers went that route. But never say never. We shall see. Biggest surprise so far, who's still on the 53-man squad? Oh, that's a good question. Probably Jake Hansen, I guess. I mean, I know they like him. I don't see it. But, having said that, he'll develop and become a great player, and I'll have egg on my face, as always. Uncultured, thanks to the super chat. Nice to see that Morgan Burnett wants to retire as a Packer. Great news today. The Packers announcing that Morgan Burnett has indicated he wants to retire as a Packer and will retire as a member of the Green and Gold. I mean, the guy was lights out for a while. Really, really good player. Played on some suspect defenses, unfortunately, but for the most part, really, really talented guy who brought it every single Sunday. And yes, 100% deserved to go out with the Green and Gold, no doubt. Is it true Goody called Steve Largent to come out of retirement for special teams? Why not, baby? Come on. Overturn every rock. Nothing's too crazy at this point. My goodness. Burnett intercepted Peyton Manning in a preseason game as a rookie. That's balls. Oh, that's good stuff. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Lots of people saying good afternoon. Eric has a soft spot for Charles Martin. Can't get on board with that one, man. Dirtiest play I ever saw on a football field and slamming Jim McMahon to the ground. I mean, I hate the Bears as much as anybody. And Jim McMahon was like enemy number 1 at that point in my life. But even then, I thought it was dirty as hell. And today, especially, I know it's dirty as hell. Can't rock it. Just can't rock it. They hit List. They hit Towel. That was kind of funny until he did that. And then it was awful. Who has more offensive production, Quadzilla or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones. Not to say Quadzilla won't kill it this year, but give me Aaron Jones. Ian, thanks for the super chat. Can't wait for the dog name. Any list of names being considered that you might share? Nope. Stay tuned is all I can say. Stay tuned. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, what about Ahmed? He looks legit to me. I very much agreed, and he has been released, but I agree with what Schneidman put that out there on Twitter. I think the Packers are praying he makes it through waivers and gets back on the practice squad. I think they'll keep him around much like they did J.J. Molson, although then Molson ended up being bid adieu after a year and a half. But, man, the kid has just hit everything. He's looked lights out the moment he stepped on the practice field, first day they signed him. And I think they've got a potential kicker in their midst who could get him through a game or two if anything were to happen to Mason. And then possibly, if this is Mason's last year, somebody they can turn to, kind of transition to. Now, there's a long way to go in that regard. I'm not saying that's locked in or anything like that. But first blush, first impressions, that kid looks definitely legit. Much more so than anybody else they brought through camp. No doubt about it. Crab Cakes, what's up, man? Get more access. 12 will eventually hit you one-on-one. Never going to happen, man. I like your confidence and I like your stick-to-itiveness, but it's never going to happen. Thirsty Beach, I'm surprised they did let Winfrey go. I mean, I got to suspect that they will get him back on the practice squad. I can't imagine they're set to move on from him after another really strong training camp performance. But you never know. Never really know. I suspect they'll have him back and they will elevate him week 1. Probably because of Torre's production, they didn't want to risk putting him on the waiver wire, especially receiver needy teams ready to pounce. Probably the thinking there, but yeah, I thought for sure Winfrey would stick around simply because of the familiarity with the offense, 12's trust with him, and all those factors. But you never really know which way they're going to head. Got that one. George, thanks for the super chat. What's one thing Rodgers can work on this year to make another MVP? Huge fan. Thanks. Can work on? I mean, the man's worked on it all. I think he can, take what the defense gives him, and I think he does that for the most part. I do wonder if there will be a tendency to try and maybe not do too much, but try to push it a little bit, especially downfield. Not to prove anybody wrong, not to quote silence the doubters or anything like that, but to play up to the two-time defending MVP, four-time overall. I can do it. I don't need Davante Adams kind of thing. I gotta think for a guy like Aaron Rodgers who feeds off every slight, whether real or perceived, there's a chance that he falls into that. I don't think it's a very significant chance. But yeah, like being efficient with the football and lots of 10, 12 play drives rather than trying to call lots of elongated routes and deep passing plays and even just intermediate passing plays. Just matriculate the ball down the field. If he can embrace that, I think he wins another MVP. Because if you're an MVP voter and you're giving him the MVP the last 2 years with Davante Adams, and then you take away Davante Adams, and the entire league and surrounding media says, oh, they've got the worst receiving core in the league, and then they average, say, 30 points a game again, and Aaron Rodgers is throwing for all these yards and touchdowns and not throwing interceptions, well, then you kind of have to give him another MVP, don't you? Just talking logic here. Are we ready for our opening kickoff to start on our journey to London? Oh, baby, are we? Oh, baby, are we? I can't wait. I kind of can't wait for the watch party. I'm like all jazzed about being with everybody on Sunday again. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. It's going to be a lot of fun on YouTube, watch parties, all the mixing it up with people, the first failed third down, people getting upset about it, the first timeout they burn, and I have to decapitate Packer Man. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. All right, buddy, I'm going to have to get going. Hey, if you are a Patreon member or a Carry the G member, happy hour at the top of the hour. Please join us. In the meantime, please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video every night. It's the last second super chat here. How do you think Gutekunst stacks up against Thompson thus far in his career? Things he appears to do better or worse? I think he is less precious about his guys, but only slightly. And I think that aids him. I think it helps him. I think he's been a little bit more active in free agency because of that. And I think he's done a really good job of augmenting the bottom of his roster and even sometimes the middle or top of his roster because of that. I do still kind of, put the brakes on when it comes to the draft. I think he's kind of neck and neck with Ted there. But for the most part, I think Packers fans could have done a whole hell of a lot worse. And I think Goody is doing a pretty damn good job. Ian, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for keeping us informed all offseason. You are the best. Can't wait for this year. Thank you, Ian. That's really, really appreciated. All right, buddy. I do have to go. See you at happy hour if you're coming. If not, please hit like, hit subscribe, tell the friends, tell the family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.